the hell is going on over there? Nothing. The only thing that matters is what's going on here. Welcome to podcast number 6, Rule Out Podcast. We are back again, and once again, I want to start off with the recommended read of the day, which happens to be Robin Sharma, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I thought this book was really good. It took me a little bit to read it. I actually read it and then stopped reading it halfway through and then came back to it. Just because, I don't know, I struggle to find the time to kind of get into it fully, or I just get bored of the book because I kind of pick up on the what it's trying to say early on in the book. And then I'm like, oh, well, what's the point of reading it anymore? But there's always a point of reading it because there's always little things in there that you're going to miss. Nothing less than sensational. This book will bless your life. Mark Victor Hansen, co-author of The Chicken Soup for the Soul. Must be another book. So I'll just read the blurb here. I'm surprised that just came out. I didn't even know what the back writing on the book was actually called. It turns out I do. The blurb, I think. This is the incredible story of Julian Mantle, a superstar lawyer whose out-of-balance lifestyle leads him to a near-fatal heart attack in a packed courtroom. His collapse brings on a spiritual crisis, forcing him to seek answers to life's most important questions. Hoping to find happiness and fulfillment, he embarks upon an extraordinary odyssey to an ancient culture where he discovers a powerful system to release the potential of his mind, body and soul, and learns to live with greater passion, purpose and peace, brilliantly blending the timeless spiritual wisdom of the East with the cutting-edge success principles of the West. This truly inspiring tale has shown millions of people around the world how to live with greater courage, balance, abundance and joy. That's the recommended read for today, guys. There it is for you. Robin Sharma's The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. So, worth the read. Good book. So, today, not too sure what it is that I want to talk about. Thought I'd brew myself up a coffee. I don't normally drink coffee because it doesn't agree with me like some people. I never used to drink it growing up. Like, I'm 24 now. Never really relied on any sort of caffeine or anything, like on a consistent basis or anything. Like, some people would just diehards, wake up in the morning and that's it. They need their coffee before they do anything else. I was never like that. But about 2 years ago, I kind of just started, running a cappuccino, 1 sugar, every morning, on the way to work especially. It was just kind of like it was more for the, because it never used to make me feel like I was alive or anything. Like, I normally wake up refreshed, but it was more so that, I'm going to work, I just want to enjoy something on the way to work. So I'd do that because I did start enjoying the taste of the local bakery's coffee. They make a good coffee, so it's definitely my favourite. I think it's just the brand or the type of coffee that they're using, the beans. They're really, really good, Macedonia or something like that. But yeah, no. But now I've kind of went back to just, I might just have a coffee every now and then, but I don't really go for it every day because I don't need to. I go to bed, I wake up, I'm feeling, refreshed enough. I don't need something else to, help me. So yeah. But this morning I thought, why not? I'm going to have a coffee. But this one's homemade, which is still alright. Like, I don't mind it. It's good. But yeah. Today, later on this afternoon, I'm actually heading off till Sunday. It's Thursday at the moment. It's early in the morning. Well, not early. It's it's 9:45 right now, everyone. Hope you're having an awesome Thursday. But this afternoon, 4 o'clock, I'm meeting a bunch of fellas over at a friend's place, and we're all heading down the west coast for a bit of a, camping, motocross, buggies, all that kind of stuff. We're taking all that down. My friend's let me borrow his dirt bike, which I probably am buying off him in the future. I had a few things done to that this week to get it ready. Honda's CRF 250 it is. It's a good bike. I mean, it was sitting there at his place for like 6 months and it hadn't been ridden. And it just kicks over straight away. Runs like a dream. So, yeah, treated it to a new rear tyre, some rotors, all this stuff for service. So, that's good. She's ready to go. On the trailer already at my friend's place. So, that's good. That's good. I met this friend through my other friend actually, and I'm sure I'll meet another couple of people on this weekend. I think there's 11 or 12 of us going down there, so it's going to be it's going to be one of my biggest trips down there, and I'm actually glad I'm finally being able to take a motorbike down there because I've always just taken my Hilux and then ended up wrecking something on it. So this will be good to be able to nick through all those 4-drive tracks and whatnot on a dirt bike, so that should be fun. So yeah, I'll be caught up to about Sunday, everyone. So I'm filming this one in advance. So I reckon by the time I actually post this, it'll be prior or post that trip. So yeah, probably Monday or actually when I get back Sunday, I might post this. And yeah, hopefully you guys have had a good week and a weekend by then. But what else is there I want to tell you? I went to the gym last night. I just wanted to get in a good session before I head off on this trip because it'll be a fair few days. Quick maths, 4 days roughly or something before I can actually get another chance to get into the gym. So I went last night and I worked out alright because I met my older brother there and we had a good chest and arm workout. So that was really good. Enjoyed that. It was one of the best workouts I've had in a while actually because it's like, when you're there with a workout partner and like you do your set on the bench, he does his set, and it's like that's the time it takes before you do another set. You're not sitting there on your phone or just talking to someone or just stuffing around wasting unnecessary time. Like it's like he does his set, you do your set, you do your set, you do your set, and then you move on to the next thing, doing sets. And to make the workout a bit quicker once you get onto dumbbells, like we're doing a bit of forearm workouts and everything, which definitely worked, everyone. I'm feeling a bit sore today. Like my arms are feeling that tired. It feels like I did legs as well. So yeah, it was definitely a good workout. But with the dumbbells, when you're doing partner, what we just because we're doing one arm at a time, I'll just use the other weight so it's quicker and so it was a very efficient workout. But it was definitely still for a couple of hours. Definitely worth it though. I'm glad I did that before heading off. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been up to and what I'm going to be up to. I'm just trying to think. Anything else I want to touch on that I've kind of been thinking about lately or whatever? Like, let's see, everyone. Let's see. I've got these plastic nose strips on. I normally sleep with them on. It helps me so much. Like I normally used to just wake up and you got your mouth wide open and you're just like dry mouth and because you can't. I've got deviated septum and just as you can see, my nose has just been like boom. Someone smacked that shit to the side, and I don't know if that's what's causing the fucking struggle to breathe, but right now it just makes talking even better. So I'm like, well, from now on, like on these podcasts, I'm going to make sure that I'm wearing that because like I just don't want to sound like someone, like I'm talking through my trunk or something like Manny on Ice Age. So it definitely helps, especially sleeping. Like I definitely get a better sleep out of them, and you're not waking up so much going like having to wet your flipping mouth and like waiting, like looking for a glass of water or something. It's really good. So yeah, it's something I've started doing a lot recently. Yeah. Yeah, so we've got the recommended read, what I've been up to lately, talked a little bit of shit, everyone. It's when in doubt, talk about how hard it is to actually talk to a camera on your own in your bedroom. So, yeah, it's very difficult, and it's very difficult to think that people are actually going to watch or like take the time out of their day to watch me sit here and just talk about, whatever it is I'm up to, whatever's on my mind or what I'm doing. But the thing is, people do, and I even watch people that do that. So, you just got to kind of push through. And I definitely want to. I was talking to a few friends the other day. I want to get it to the point where I can have a setup, extra camera. Stop saying I hate saying all the time. But you're just filling in gaps and everything. So that's something I want to train myself off doing. Just pause instead of saying fuck. But yeah, no, look, the podcast, I want to get it to the stage where I can bring on guests. So I need an extra camera, extra mic, and yeah, a few other little things. Definitely a costly exercise, this one, but definitely worth it. And, I enjoy it. It's something I actually can feel like I'm committing to finally, and I enjoy it. Even though it's it's a simple kind of thing to do with your spare time. But on the side of trying to put a little bit more effort into my construction business or building business or whatever, it's just, I like having it on the list of things I do. So that's why I'm doing it. And I think it'd be definitely beneficial to a lot of you people that end up watching it out there. I don't know whether that was a heart attack or just, like something else. I don't know. But, yeah, so I've got one guy that I'm really interested in on bringing in on for my first episode, first guest episode. Really looking forward to it. I just got to kind of, like I said, get a proper setup, more space. There's definitely no space in this room at the moment. But he's a really good guy. He's an ex-paratrooper, and he's 47. Yeah, really good character. Really looking forward to getting him on one day and having a good conversation with him. I don't want to interview. I'm just going to get on, do what I do now, and just have a conversation. And that should be a cool guest. Like, I think I'll get out. I mean, I'm also just excited for myself to be able to sit down and talk with him and his experiences, and because I know I've had a fair few good conversations with him in the past, and he definitely experienced a lot, done a bit, and has a fair few good points of view on things. And so that should be a good episode. Really looking forward to that. Not sure when it'll be, so I'm just going to keep hitting it solo till then, and just work towards that. So yeah, that's the plans for the podcast in the future anyway. Yesterday morning, I poured the slab I've been working on that I said in the previous videos that I had going on. I ended up getting the concrete pumping company. They're just the big concrete trucks, and they've got a big boom arm with a pump on them, and they'll just pour your concrete for you and everything. Sean at Rigor Concreting, he sorted that out for me. Ended up going with A1 Concreting, which is Sheldon. He's really good. He screeded the whole slab. I was just on the rake behind him and left him to it to finish it off for the day. He sent me a photo. It's I'll show you now. Very good job, very professional. Definitely we'll be getting him to help out on future jobs and everything, because he's a good bloke. And that's, I'm saying again. Yeah, he's a great bloke. And yeah, so I'll show you. It shows. That's the slab there, everyone, if you can see it. Like, it's not massive, but yeah, it's not going to focus for me. But yeah, it's got a roller door in it, PA door. There's a window over the back, and the shed will be here in 2 weeks, and then we'll be whacking that up. So, and that's for a friend of my old man. So that's going to be good. Got a few things I still need to get ready today for this trip down West Coast. But it's going to be good. It's been a while since I've been able to go on a little trip or whatever, like be able to finally use the rooftop tent again. Yes, it's going to be good. Just going to make sure we stay safe down there. There's definitely a lot of dodgy tracks. Like, I know people come flying through them, and I've nearly had head-ons with cars before because I used to just like full bore the Hilux through all these like tracks, sandy tracks and everything because I didn't want to get bogged. And yeah, you come close there sometimes. I know my ex-girlfriend's older brother, he was down there on a quad at one stage a fair few years ago, and he broke his arm coming around the corner and hit someone, I think, or rolled or whatever, I can't remember. But yeah, it's definitely not somewhere you want to have any sort of accidents, but some things are just unavoidable, especially when there's just so many different groups down there. Like, I was down there once with my old man, just with his friends, and I was just in his old Nissan Patrol, and we're just cruising up along this beach. Like, it's just a massive long beach, and I want to wheel stand. I'm going to try and wheel stand the whole thing. That's my goal of this trip. And so we're cruising along that when I was younger, and I remember looking in the rear view, and it was just a fog across the beach. And all I remember seeing coming out of the fog is just like a bunch of dirt bikes, quads, buggies and everything, and half the dirt bikes are just wheel standing, and they're just all coming up the beach. It was like one of these Mad Max episodes or something. It was pretty cool. So it is meant to be a little bit wet down there, I think, but hopefully it holds off enough to not be super miserable. But either way, we'll make the most of it, and it just is what it is, you know. You got to go with the flow sometimes. So yeah. What are we doing? We're up to 17 minutes today, everyone. I finally got the wired battery for my camera. So I've got that plugged in now. So these podcasts I finally got everything that is just going to make this easy. And all I've got to do is just shut it down, go about my day, and then just, you know, whenever I want to, you know, I was working on making sure I can keep everything set up so I don't have to really move anything. The only thing I'll do is just move the camera tripod to the side. And yeah, well, it's good. Like, I don't have to worry about charging any batteries or anything now. Just start her up and get into her. I can already tell this coffee ain't going to, probably the worst thing I can do when I'm going bush for a couple of days. But yeah, it's going to be so fun. I'm keen as, especially, I don't know, it's exciting. It's exciting. Going to need to have a decent feed after this. I can't have my arms or anything being sore tomorrow. This afternoon there won't be much going on, but yeah, I want to be fresh, feeling fresh tomorrow morning. So that's no doubt when we'll be doing the first big ride. Tonight we'll be just getting down there and setting up, I reckon. Got to get my GoPro batteries on the charge. That's on the list of things to do. I was going to wash the car, but I'm not going to because it's going to be absolutely filthy when I get back, so I might as well just do it then. And yeah, there was on another side of thing, just as random as everything else on these podcasts, it's I'm starting to feel like I know what I want to do. Like, and it was so weird when I started these podcasts, and I'm only out, this is episode 6. When I started them, I thought I'm going to do one episode and I'm never going to do it again. And it's just going to be something like everything else that I've ever tried that I've just ended up giving up on, you know, or just saying, oh, no, what's the hell? To hell with it. No one's going to watch. No one cares. What's the point? I'm not getting anything out of it. There's no, like I'm just wasting time. But the thing is, now I'm up to episode 6 even, and like I find myself having plenty of time, and it's just so easy to sit down and just go for it, and then film a podcast. And I'm not getting anything out of it in the financial aspect at all. Like it's actually put me more in a hole getting it all set up and just being committed to knowing that, right, I want to do this and it's going to cost money, and I know that it could never profit me anything. But the thing is, it has already started profiting me, because in my head I feel like I have proven to myself already that I know I can commit to something, and I am committing to it, and I'm going to keep committing to it. And it makes me feel like, well, I'm not wasting my life. Like it's something else that I'm going and I'm doing consistently. And the more I do it, I'm like, well, there's no stopping now. Otherwise, if you stop, what was the point in even starting? Spending all that money, all the time, doing all those other episodes. There's no stopping now. And it doesn't matter if there's no subscribers that you see, no likes, no comments. It's just, like you just keep going, because I'm getting something out of it, like on a mental plane instead of physical, like shit, like money or anything like that. So it's good. And it's actually helped me feel or change. It's like shifted everything from going, well, I'm wasting all this time, I'm doing nothing, like I can't seem to find anything that I want to actually do with my life. It's slowly just fixing all these little inner problems that I've had, and it makes me feel like, right, well, in the real life, yeah, I'm trying to build up my construction business. I'm trying to get more work there, get better at that, build it up to the point where I'm like filling in full weeks work, and really getting that going. And that's in the real world. That's where I get my income from, and I do have passion for that. Like I said to my little sister the other day, because she comes and helps me on site sometimes, I said, well, I don't think I'm ever going to have nothing to do with construction. I'm always going to have my foot in it a little bit, because it's definitely a passion of mine, and that's the whole reason why I've got my own business doing it. And some jobs are a bit more rough than others, but there's always those ones that just keep you into it, and you really enjoy what you do, and you realise you do have a skill that a lot of people don't have, and are super surprised that like you can do stuff like that. Like I was working for one lady, and she's like, oh, I just don't understand how you know how to do all this stuff, and you're only this age or something. Like, I mean, a lot of people do, everyone's doing a trade, but it is cool, you've got a skill, and you can earn an income doing that skill. And you just got to look after your body as best you can over the years, so you don't end up crippled by your middle age. So, yes. And I think massages, deep tissue massages and all that kind of stuff definitely help with that. So definitely try that. And cupping, I love cupping. It feels like it's sucking the toxic, feeling like the toxins out of you. It feels like it's just sucking the pain out of you. And I like cupping. It's good. What was on that subject for? It was what was it? Quick. It was So it's really helped me. I really enjoy it, because now I've got that real life focus even more now, and I'm just slowly starting to get that way. Like before, it was I don't really want to do anything in the real life. Why can't I do something online or something that's not as physical and earn money from that and everything? And and that's, you have that half mindset of like something like, and that's why I've always been sorting out or seeking out these other options of career options or anything like that, or something that's just out of the ordinary. So, and here I am doing podcasts, and to me, this is filling that gap in my life, and then the construction business is filling that gap in my life. So I'm in the physical, like in the physical career realm, I'm getting after it, and then something else on the side that has a possibility to change everything for me, I'm working on that. You could call it a side hustle, whatever you want, but this is, it's just something. Those two things are what keep me going mentally. Otherwise, I'd feel like I'd be doing nothing with my life. If I was doing this, just this, I'd feel like I'd be doing nothing with my life. And if I was just doing that, I'd feel like I was doing nothing with my life. That's why I always had that, but I was always searching for this, and now I've found it. I'm starting to feel like I can see who I want to be and who I want to end up. And it starts to become more and more clear to me. And the clearer it gets, the more you try and walk in the footsteps of who you want to be, where you want to be and everything, eventually you're going to be that person in that area of life and everything. And that's how it works. So, like you hear Conor McGregor at the start of his life, he was just obsessed on an idea of the person, the achievements and everything that he wanted to do. And he just, was obsessed with it. And he said, he's read books on the law of attraction and all this, and picturing and just continuously just thinking and focusing on stuff and just pretty much manifesting it by a law of attraction, So, and I definitely want to get a book. Like, I've seen lots of stuff about it online. But yeah, I think it'd be good to read a book on it to make a lot of it more clear. And if I do find a book and read it, I'll put it on as a recommended read in a future episode. But it's definitely helped, because I know just in the other room out here, when I was 16, starting my apprenticeship, and that was my only focus back then. Didn't really know much about online. I didn't, no one's going to be making money online. I didn't know anything about any of that really, because it was 2016 pretty well. So I was starting my apprenticeship, and I had been given my first load of paperwork and everything, like my studies and whatnot. First couple of units on to study, like my theory for the apprenticeship, because you do your on-site and then you do that. But most people go to TAFE a couple of weeks a year, but I just did all my TAFE in my own time, and then they'll come on site and assess you. So yeah, when I first got my bit there, it was on WHS, which is Work Health and Safety, and that's just a bunch of stuff, just repetitive. And I remember I was sitting out there at a desk, and I was going through my head at the time. I knew nothing about anything, like your thoughts, how they can affect your actual physical life and everything, if you just, all that and whatnot. But it's I remember sitting there thinking, I'm going to smash this theory out, just open the book. And I just sat there for straight up a couple of hours, just going straight at it. And I told myself that I'm going to finish my apprenticeship in 3 years, not 4, because when the lady came around to sign me up, she said there is the option actually to finish on 3rd year if the builder that's hired you as an apprentice sees that you are capable, and can be signed off, and you have all your theory done by that time. So that's what I told myself. I said, I'm going to finish my apprenticeship on 3 years, and throughout that whole apprenticeship, I was smashing out my studies, and I got that done earlier, and I got to the point on site as well, because I had a certain passion for it, and I focused on it, so I picked up everything so much more than most other people do, and I got signed off on my 3rd year. And this is my old man that was signing me off as well, but that's not just because he's my old man, because both my brothers that did it, they did 4 years in their apprenticeship because Dad didn't see that there was enough passion there, or learning, they weren't learning it as quick. And that's what I think. If you're not passionate about something, you're not going to pick up on anything to do it. You're just going to turn up and you want to go home, and you just, you don't really care as much about soaking up any of the skills or information and stuff that you need. So I was complete opposite, and that just goes to show that if you are passionate about something and you do put effort into something, and you focus on it, you can definitely get out of it what you want. And to me, that was finishing my theory and my apprenticeship by year 3. And then that led to another thing, being able to do other jobs and get a higher income quicker and everything. And you obviously still do not know as much as you should or you will, but I'm sure I know I was 100% a lot better than most tradies when they come out of their year 4, because I was on site with my old man who's picky as, real hard on you and real like, just real fussy with everything. Whereas these other apprentices, they get on these big commercial work sites and everything, and they've just got get on the broom for a year, and then they just everything's just drawn out. No one wants to help them really, because everyone's just there to work and go home as well. And it's just a lot more slower process, and they don't get exposed to a lot of technical little detail kind of work. So I was lucky there. It was definitely, I say to people, I did my apprenticeship with my old man, and they go, oh, you may as well have done 8 years. That's how hard that would be. Like a guy I know who did it with his, he's just like, it was an absolute nightmare. But to me, there were days where it was a bit of a struggle and everything, but I think it just, and a lot of times it would, near ruin the relationship that you have with your old man and everything. And that's what a lot of other people say as well. It just gets in the way. You're always working with them, and especially if you're just growing up and you're living at home with them, you're just always there at each other. And it was like that as well, especially with me, because I grew up in a religion with my old man, and that was always kind of pushed on to me. And when I started getting my license, getting income, and started doing other stuff and kind of moving away from that, because I just seen the whole world as a big, exciting place to go and explore, that caused a lot of arguments, and, then started seeing girls and whatnot. It definitely brought in a bit of heat on the job site, because there was fathering at home and on the job site, when it should have been just boss on the job site, father at home. But then it makes the boss, I'm surprised I got through it, but I did, and I'm glad for it, because, definitely taught me a few things, and I think taught him a few things as well. So that was a very cool experience. But yeah, like I was saying, having 2 different things going on in my life definitely is starting to make me feel like I'm gradually getting to that person that I've always seen myself as. Like I talked in a previous episode about like who you want to be, and like picturing a moment in time in future about, like say, I reckon Conor McGregor fantasized about him holding up those 2 belts so much in the years leading up to that moment, and he probably even talked about it here and there, I reckon, and he did it. And things, once you know that that is possible, whenever I'm going to sleep, I'm picturing myself with a successful podcast, a successful construction business, because I always want to have that there. And especially if I get to somewhere on here and I can like use finances from this, I just want to use, and just build both like that, because I'm passionate about both these things, and I don't want to just drop off the other thing. Like if this goes up, which it will, it's like this can help out my construction business. It can help me be able to finally bring on a few employees, or be able to take on a certain amount of work, and then I can get the work up and then the income up. And like that's the whole thing I'm working towards. And I know it's going to take time and effort, persistence, but it's also thinking and knowing that it will happen, and it's going to happen. And you just gotta have faith in yourself and trust in the process that takes time. Nothing's overnight. Patience is like one of the biggest things. And I tell you what, I used to hate having to wait for anything, but now it's like, especially if you order something online, that's a real test of your patience. Order something online. Back in the day, I'd order it and I'd be like thinking about it every day. But now I'm to the point where I'll order it and I completely forget about it, and then it's like it turns up the next day. And that's what happened with this last bit of camera equipment here. So yeah, patience is a definite thing that you want to try and master as much as possible. There'll be always times where you're a little bit more impatient than others, but yeah. So yeah, everyone, we're at 35 minutes. Hope you enjoyed the podcast so far. Me rambling on about random shit. Like I said, very keen to get some guests on in the future. I've got a few on the list already, which I'm looking forward to. I'm trying to picture in my head the exact setup, like the exact like theme, everything that I want to go with. Like, I just think that having a couple of recliners and just a cigar for each just there ready for the client, a glass of whiskey, just a real nice rustic kind of setting and everything. Like, that's kind of how I picture all this in the future. And yeah, it's really exciting to think about. And yeah, definitely. And I think it just gives you more to talk about. Like, I could talk about things for ages, I could fill in so many different episodes of just different topics and talk about stuff and everything. But I think for people, it's more so, it does, people get a bit more enjoyment out of seeing two different characters bounce ideas off each other and just, have a conversation. And that's why I think I love the Joe Rogan show so much, because it's not an interview. It's a conversation. It's just two people that have such unique lives and everything, and then they just have a conversation on their experiences and all their or whatever, and then they have a laugh about a few topics and everything. I just love that. I'm going to try and say a big word, spontaneity. Is that how you say it? Of that podcast, and that's why I'm not scripting anything in any of these videos, and I never will, because there's no point. Like, I'm not sitting here looking at a piece of paper and making you feel like I'm just reading you a book or something. Like, to me, it's got to be just coming straight out of your head, whatever you say and everything. And if I can sit here for a good 40 minutes and just talk about whatever, it's like, makes complete sense to me how these podcasts are going for 3 hours and whatnot, because there's two people talking, so it's double the time. This person's got so much they want to say, and you've got so much you want to say, and then you're bouncing ideas off each other, and you're actually having a proper laugh, and you've got this other person there that, kind of fills that space in the room, and you don't feel as like lonely, because I think doing this, it doesn't feel to me like I'm lonely or anything. It's just that you are alone in the room. There's no one that you're kind of having a fun conversation with, but I just feel like I know there's going to be people that see this eventually. And that's what kind of, like, there's people in the camera. So, and the more and more I talk to the camera, you start to feel people's presence, So it's like, it's definitely a weird thing. You definitely have to get to a point where you've got a bit of camera confidence. You just start to get a bit more happy within yourself. Stop being so fussy about how you look or how you perceive yourself, to like how other people might perceive you. Like, and just who cares? I want to do this the most least stressful way possible. And this is actually another thing for me. It's forcing me to not care as much, because you can't care if you're putting yourself out there, being vulnerable and everything, and expecting people to not attack you at some stage along your life. Everyone's got their own little thing they want to say, or their own little stab in the dark they want to take at you, so you just to get you closer to the ground, and it's not going to work. And if you are weak-minded and you let all these other people that are just going to start coming out of the woodwork just to push you down, you might as well not even start it. But I know I can handle all that rubbish, and the biggest thing is just ignoring it. Most of the time, don't even read any of your comments. A lot of these people say, like, oh, I've got a comment from a friend I know yesterday, I think, on my first episode, stuff like that, or you comment. But I think you read your comments or you see them, but if you see that it's toxic or something that's like, you just know someone's just being, hey, just forget about it. Like, it's not even there. Like, it was a spam email, because the comments come through as emails as well. So you just spam. It's just spam. Someone that's not doing anything with their life. Your biggest haters never doing. I think was it Joe? No, it was on a Joe Rogan episode that I seen. It was with David Goggins, and I think I'd heard it before that as well. Though, like, your biggest haters never doing better than you. or something. Because they're too busy just going around everyone, just trying to pull them back down to their stupid level, and doing nothing with their life. But the people that are always most happy for you are the people that are getting after it at least themselves. It's not about being better than anyone. It's about being better than who you were yesterday. And if you can see that someone's doing that as well, you're doing it and they're doing it, most of the time that person's not going to be a negative critic to anything you're doing, and vice versa, because you can see the respect's there, but for someone that's just going to throw negative shit at you and everything, that's just, what they're doing with their life, nothing. So you don't worry about it. But at this point, got nothing to worry about there, because I'm pretty well you're really incognito when you're starting out something like that, and that's where I kind of found a bit more peace in the first couple of episodes. It's more, I just thought, it's going to be like 3 or 4 people that see it, right? 3 or 4 people that see it, and they're probably on the other side of the planet or something, and they're just going to see it as you're this ad person on there and everything. And I thought, well, if I can do that, and just who cares about who's watching it early on, and eventually when people do start catching on, they'll see where you are now, and that you have, gradually built the thing into something, and you've learnt lessons along the way. And yeah, so what I'm trying to say, you just don't take it too seriously to start off with. So like you take it serious to a certain extent, otherwise you're just going to be scrappy. But yeah, it's just a bit hard to explain things sometimes. Like I'm not the best verbally, but I think you know what I mean, I reckon. But yeah, it's definitely a big interest of mine, the podcast industry. Like, a lot of people say, oh, everyone's sharing their opinions, or they're on their stupid podcast talking about stuff and expressing their feelings and their opinions on everything, and no one actually gives a shit. That may be true, but end of the day, like, who cares? Again, who cares? You can stay sitting at home on your couch and just watching Netflix. Good. If you're happy doing that, good. I'm happy doing this, just a little bit more. And yes, so it's very, 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 very good. Come on, think of something to say. Let's go. I'm going to try hit this one up to the hour mark today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if my coffee's gone cold. I didn't really enjoy it that much, actually. It's not that good. Shit. Yeah, well, I've got a bit of paperwork and everything to do after the podcast, so I'm trying to get everything pretty well tidied up, cleaned, organised, ready for next week when I get back. That's another thing. If you're going out on a trip or something or anything, the best thing is to make sure that when you come home, everything's done. Like, your washing's done, at least hung out or whatever. Everything's cleaned, vacuumed, dishes are done. The place is tidy, because you come back a mess from this trip and everything, and you just say, right, well, the only mess is me, right? Like, it's a better transition. You're coming messy into this clean place, and it's not like, yeah, it's definitely a better feeling. And you don't have to clean up the whole house. You just got your own little mess that you brought back with you in the car to sort out the next day after you just get home and crash in your nice, comfy, tidy home. So, yeah, that's definitely the way to go. Clean up and tidy before you go anywhere, so that when you get back, it's the same with making your bed in the morning. If you get out of bed and your sheets and everything just all over the place, and you just leave them like that, and you go to work, and then you come back, you don't come back to a fresh slate. You come back to a messy morning. You know, it's not like a refresh type of thing. And it does. I'll tell you, doing one little thing, just like making your bed in the morning, or anything. It could be one little thing. You could vacuum your floor, and then once you do that, you see, oh, your bench is just a little bit dirty, so you start cleaning that up, and then you realise that your washing basket's getting a bit overloaded or whatever, and you'll throw a load in the wash machine. It's like that. You get on a roll. I don't know how to say or the right word for it, but it's you just a positive or a the first action just leads into more. You just want to keep going, and then you start thinking, do I have OCD or something? Like, because you just start cleaning everything. But that's what happens. You get in that mode. The first action leads to the next, and then that, and then that, and then before you know it, you cleaned your whole room, done all your washing, and everything's good. And you were sitting there just before, though, that first thing you had to do, looking at your bed going, oh, I can't be bothered sitting there for an hour. As soon as you did that, everything else was just so much easier. And in social interactions and everything, apparently that's the same. I find I've seen a guy talking about it as well. He says, like, he walks down the street and everything, and he talks to just random people. Could be a girl, could be a guy, saying, oh, g'day, have a good morning, I like your shirt, or whatever. He'll say anything like that, and by the time he gets like through the first two, he starts to get on a roll. I don't know what it's called. I should probably we'll search that up. Let's search that up. It's like you get on a roll, and then it starts just becoming like a reflex. Like everyone you see or you're walking past, you just want to say hi to them. So I'll get... Yeah, we'll switch over to here. Get Google up. It's... what's it called? So what's it called when you get on a roll with social interaction? What is the word for someone who initiates group social? No, social interaction definition. What is the social interaction? No. What's another term for social? No, what is parasocial? No, so let's search up something different here. Why is it easier to have social interactions after you talk to a few people? I don't know how to type this in to get the right answer. What is the rumination, post-event rumination, the extent to which one engages in persistent, detailed and negative thinking following social situations, serves as a risk process in the pathophysiology of social anxiety. Oh, so that's a different one. So after social interaction, you start critiquing and analysing all the shit that you've said, what they said, and just, overanalyzing. I know that happens to me as well. You start cringing over some things like, why did I say it? No one cares. But why is it easy to talk to some people more than others? No, it's not what I'm looking for here, everyone. Sorry, but I think... How much social interaction can one learn to enjoy, thrive, and so on? Why do I get into a groove after? What do I feel overstimulated? Why is it all negative? I'm not searching anything that's negative. I just want to, like, why is it easier after a few social interactions? Research shows your body releases endorphins during positive social contact, similar to the physical response after a hard workout, which gives a boost of happiness while reducing stress. That's why people who feel more connected to others have lower levels of anxiety and depression. So I'd say that the reason for that bit of addiction straight after doing something like making your bed and then you end up cleaning your whole room and everything is because you get those positive I don't know whether you would or not. Like you get that, you look, I just did this. Oh, no, that felt so good. Let's do this. So maybe that's something to do with it. You have a first interaction and that went good and you realise, oh, that person didn't call the police on me or they didn't, tell me to piss off or something, and then you start going, all right, and then it just becomes so much easier. And I know, I feel it kick in. It's like a boost of your confidence, happiness, everything, and then you just go on. And even you get so far into it that when someone there is just like, I don't, like, they're not interested, or they will say something like, oh, get away from me, you rapist. You're just like, well, you see that person for what they are, just a negative person, someone that you weren't even worth talking to anyway, and it doesn't affect you at all, and then you go to the next one, and that's good, and then you just keep going. Like, it's a good way to kind of pick out in a crowd, who the genuine people are and who the real negative, where all the negative vibes are coming from. I know there's a word for it that this guy used when he was doing it. Can't remember exactly, but got 8 minutes, everyone. I'm going to cap this one at about an hour. I wonder if we're going to get many big waves this summer to surf. Like, the best surfing weather is when you get those nice big blue rolls coming in, the waves. And I know we get them sometimes down at the bluff, down at the beach down there. And it's definitely, I definitely want to get into that a little bit more this summer. It's nice when you don't really have a windy day, but it's just like the waves are just rolling in and it's just nice and blue. And then you get those real rough days where there's just like heaps of short waves and they're just really consistent, like one after the other. Like, it's just too hard to have any fun doing that. But you get those really pearler days that are just unrealistic. But, yeah. That's right. So, let me know in the comments, everyone. Like, don't be scared to comment. If you viewed the video to, or the podcast to now, let me know in the comments, because I do feel like, I'm not surprised, like, if there's not many people actually watching the full podcast, which is completely understandable at the moment. But if you do watch it to this stage, let me know in the comments by saying watched full podcast or just something like that, so I know if people are actually watching it through to the end. And yeah, I hope you enjoy any of the rubbish, perceived as rubbish that I'm talking about. It's not that. It's educational. It's educational as well as it is informative, and just sharing a bit of life with everyone. So yeah. I'm actually so excited to go on this trip. It's going to be good. 4 o'clock, get around there. Definitely meet a bunch more people, because I think I only know one guy that's gone. And I met two, because one of his apprentices, one of the people that are coming is one of his apprentices. He's an electrician. And then there's a friend of that apprentice who's concreter. I met them both yesterday, so they seem pretty cool. And another one turned up as well, so I met him. I think I've met him in a club or something at one stage. But no, it's going to be. He had a 110. He had a 110 Kawasaki, and it's got no. It's funny. He pulled up and it's got no rear fender on. It's just been snapped off. And Caleb's first question to him was like, "You have a wheel stand at that?" He's like, "What do you reckon?" Because that's probably what happened when he snapped that rear fender off. Went a bit too far back. But I hope he's not the one riding that 110, because he's a fairly tall bloke, this other dude. And yeah, it's going to be a funny show. You definitely have a bit of fun down there, though, I reckon. There's these 110 cups coming up. So it's just motocross 110 cup, and it's just a bunch of dads, I reckon, or just people that, you know, are way over the size limit for a 110, and they'll just get on a 110 and just race. That's going to be pretty funny to see, I reckon. I don't know when it's on or anything. They were talking about it in a group chat the other day, so I'll probably go watch that at some stage. That'd be pretty funny. Because it's like it's the size of the bike. It's just, it doesn't worry you at all. But you can still, the fact is, you can still hurt yourself and come off and do some serious damage. But it's gonna be funny, real funny. Oh yeah, I actually started watching the Trailer Park Boys recently. Trailer Park Boys. Such a good show, man. Like I love that show. It's like a stress reliever. You get home after work or the gym or whatever, have a shower, relax, get some food, and just sit down on the bed and just watch a. They're only roughly 20-minute episodes as well, but they're just so funny. It's just it's not like a really professional film or anything. It's like, to me, it is like, I don't like new movies and everything. They are so far away from real life, but the Trailer Park Boys is just like, it's stupid in a lot of ways and unrealistic in a lot of ways, but so funny how like unserious it is. It's not really a word, but yeah, let's go. I'm trying to figure out who my favourite character is. I'm pretty sure it's Ricky, because he just says what's on his mind. But then Julian's just so. They're all just. I don't know how someone comes up with a show like that. Look, it beats me. So, yes, I'm glad it's got 12 seasons, because you definitely get your most out of it. And I think there's actually a movie as well. Trailer Park Boys, the movie. So I'll be watching that after I finish the series, and then there's an animated version as well. I'll suss that out. So that'd be cool, I reckon. I need to get out for a shot again with the 12 gauge. I really like shooting clays with the 12 gauge. You can just throw them yourself, or have a clay thrower, or you get a mate to throw them for you. It's fairly fun. I like doing that. It's definitely a good stress reliever as well. As well as boxing. If you're ever angry, I think doing a bit of bag work on the bag, just whatever, even if you think you don't know how to box properly or anything, or don't really know much about it, just hitting something. So just go hit the boxing bag if you're stressed out or angry. Yeah. I'm really talking my ear off today. Fairly broad range of subjects and everything, but I wanted to see how long I can actually talk without losing your train of thought or just pausing for too long. So that's what I'm doing. We're about to hit that hour mark, everyone. And I found this sign. Actually, I wanted to say, I found this sign on Amazon, Fallout Shelter. Thought that was pretty cool. And I just crossed it out and put rule out. It's the Rule Out podcast, everyone. But it makes me think, look, all these millionaires and all that, like how they're, they've all got bunkers, and for good reason. If I had heaps of money, I'd have a bunker too, because especially in Tasmania, you're just like, we're just waiting to be bombed to piss off Australia. A lot of people think that. They think, oh, we're going to be the first. We're going to be the, what? Nah, you've pissed us off now. We're gonna bomb Tasmania. How's that make you feel? And we're just down here roast. We're just dead. Eyes and tongues melting in our mouths. Well, nothing left of us, actually. So, yeah. Might have to get that concreter around again and start forming me up. Dig a big hole, I will. Get a nice big box for me to sneak in under the ground. Stock it up with a few cans of cat food. It's fairly expensive, I reckon. I mean, you see some of these underground bunkers. Yeah, there's no point doing it if you aren't like, rich and famous and all this and whatnot. You don't have to be famous, but most of the time people that are rich are famous. So they've built some sort of audience and then they've sucked the money out of everyone. So yeah. Shelters. But this is my shelter, everyone. The Rule Out shelter. I'm going to head it off now. I think I've rambled on for enough. Starting to get a bit pointless. So thanks for watching, everyone again. I'm really looking forward to this trip we're going this afternoon, so I'm going to go get ready a bit more for that. Recommended read, the monk who sold his Ferrari. Definitely read that one. And he's got a few other good books as well that'll be recommended reads in the future. And I'll make it a thing on this show that I will not recommend a book that I haven't read, and that drives me to read more books to make sure that I have plenty for you guys as recommended reads on this show. So great. Righto. Sweet. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to go pour out this cold coffee, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the weekend or weekend. Don't waste it. Do something good. Thanks for watching. See you guys.